this podcast doesn't just help the viewers, and we've heard a lot of great comments and emails from them. It helps us.
For sure.
It helps us become better fathers and better husbands. And now I have another question for you guys that I'm going to need help as well. And it's a viewer question we thought of because of things we've been dealing with. And here's our viewer question. Spoil them or not, how do you say no to your kids?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I mean, for me, it's tough because it's our only kid. We know we're not having any more. You guys know everything that's happened to Sarah. So your heart kind of tugs a little bit more when it comes to certain things. So we're at the zoo. I mean, but she's not a give me type of get me, buy me this. She's not that type of person. We could go to the store, and if she's like, look, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a butterfly or that's a book or whatever. Okay. She's not like, no, I want it. She's not like that. But for me and, Eliza, we're like, you want a book? You want a stuffed animal if we go to the zoo? Things like that. It's not all the time, but you kind of feel like it's that, only kid syndrome where it's like you kind of get, if you want it, you could have it only on certain occasions, not every single time. I grew up poor. My mom didn't work. My dad did. So I don't ever think about going, oh, I want this. I want that. I just kind of knew
you weren't getting it.
I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah.
And if I did, it was only for Christmas and birthdays.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I remember the first time that I got excited about buying something was with my first part-time job, my first paycheck of my part-time job. And that was the only time I'm like, oh my goodness, check was only like a couple $100, but I was excited because I could go buy anything, in high school.
Yeah.
I never had that before.
I remember my first paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you kind of, now you're kind of, okay, I worked so hard to get where I'm at now to make the money I make. You don't want to spoil your kid, but you do want to provide her a good life at the same time. So you kind of have to have that balance, but then you don't want to be here like demanding it. When she gets older, you want that, to keep in her head where it's like, oh, mom and dad will buy it for me. You're like, no, that's not going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got a 21-year-old kid, so, I mean, how do you?
He was easy.
He just got told no.
No. Well, the thing about it, no, and that is true. That, I mean, it's like, I don't just buy him whatever, right? I mean, it's just, yes, sure he gets stuff. Like Marv always says, again, you spoil us, right? And I do, like, if he wants something, whatever, but he's a different person. He's a different kind of kid. Like, when he was a teenager, he would have like an old cell phone, like, sorry, you've had that for a minute, time for another one, still works.
I can see that. I can see that from Matt.
That's the weirdest thing. It's just like, dude, seriously, that thing's like really
soul over there.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, you understand, that it's faster, it's got a better screen, it's got a better camera. I don't take that many pictures. I'm fine. I'm like, all right, dude.
Okay.
I mean, all right. Yeah. He's always been that way. So it's like, if he asks for something or wants something like that, it's like, okay, well, that's kind of easy because normally he's just no, I'm good with what I have, know. And so again, he's different. So that's not how it always works, right? You're not going to always have that kind of kid. You're going to have, maybe the one that's always, hey, I want.
What about Jeffrey and Adley?
I guess they're like any other little typical kid. Everywhere you go, it's like, I want that. And then I'm just like, nope. But look, they have so much stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just like, we kind of had this conversation because of his birthday, right? And it's just like, they have so much more than like we had when we were kids.
Yep.
And it's just like, like for us, we the toys that we had, we played with those forever and a day because those were the toys that we had.
Yep.
And now, like mine, even though
I worked on them when they broke.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, tape or whatever else, right?
Yep.
And now these kids, I mean, they have so many toys or so many everything that it's just like, how, that thing's in a box. You probably played with it once.
I have a great little nugget for that. Grace loves her umbrella, right? Okay. She loves an umbrella when it rains.
It's the same thing. I don't know what's up the
that's a necessity, right? An umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got her first one. She's on her third or fourth one right now, right? She got her first one, and I'll give it. It was very, very cheap. She dropped it a couple times accidentally. It broke. Okay. So we got her a new one. So then we got her, I don't know, maybe a $20 one, right? And it's better. It was better. And then she started playing with it, throwing it up and catching it, would drop. And I was like, Grace, your other one just broke. If this one falls, it's going to break again. She looked me dead in the face. This is a funny story. I've shared it with, I think, Lindsay Mateo, mom, Ariel's parents. And she goes, so if it breaks, you just go to the store and buy me another one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh,
And
You had that answer.
all right.
And I said, oh, I don't know what to say. I said, we're not. We're not
Yeah,
buying you
yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we will buy you another one.
Yeah.
And you've seen that already. You broke, which the first one, like I said, it was cheap. You broke the first one, we got you another one. Now I'm telling you, hey, preventatively, don't break this one.
Right.
But if it does, just go buy me another one, right? And I was like, oh, that's it. That took me back a step. I'm like,
Yep.
I need to evaluate this.
Right. And again, that's kind of like the whole thing, with the kids and what I'm watching the kids, man. That's it. It's like, you know how your kid, if he's just like, okay, he's acting like he's spoiled, then it's a no. You don't need it. You don't whatever. But if it's less like you look at it and it's like, oh wow, he really wants it. He thinks it's really cool, whatever it may be, and it's just like, yeah, go ahead and get it. Not a big, yeah. I mean, because I told you no probably a million times by now. And that one, you actually look like, oh, it's not just something you're going to throw in a drawer somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. I mean, because again, I'll take care of them. I really do. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff, but I am real quick and easy to say no.
Is it me though? Is that like I'm cleaning up, the house. I'm putting away all her toys every night, and I put away her toys, and I'm looking at her playroom. I'm like, we didn't get her any of these toys.
That's
And you're like,
that happens all the time.
What?
Right.
I'm like, her whole room, and me and my wife are like, we need to go through her toys because this is just insane.
Yeah.
But I look, I'm like, I never bought her this. I never bought her this. I never got her this. Like, where did all these toys come from?
Yeah.
And obviously, we have amazing friends from birthdays and Christmases and things like that. But you're like, I don't even buy my kid toys because it's just so much toys where it's to the point where like we need to go through her toys and start donating stuff because there's half the stuff you don't even play with. Her little normal 4 or 5 toys and that's it.
right.
So yeah,
That's true.
I take a deeper look at it when it comes to these things, right? So as you mentioned, you grew up poor, right? I won't say we grew up poor, but I will say my mom worked 2 jobs 7 days a week for probably 15 years of my childhood.
Good gosh.
She worked 7 days a week. And how I'm big on, there's events I don't want to miss. I said, I wanted to work myself so I could. There were events my mom had to miss.
Of course, yeah.
The things that were really important, she was always there. But, taking me to practice, taking me on, just errands I got to go, go get my school supplies. That was my grandparents primarily, right? Because my mom was at work. So I said, I want to be able to do that. But that part was my mom never told me no on things I wanted, right? I really wanted.
Okay.
Not just everything. Just if it was a practical, like, hey, I want this. I really like this. Like I had so many cars. There's some over there on my shelves now from like my childhood. Cars were always destined for me, right? Mom. And then I showed up at school and I always had the freshest Jordans, always had the freshest outfit. And I know that my mom, especially looking back, having talks with her when I got older, like she wasn't making really good money, right? But I never did without. So my philosophy to it is if my mom worked 7 days a week, very hard to provide for me and never told me no, then who am I to tell my daughter no?
Okay.
I don't need to tell her no. So why am I telling her no?
Okay.
What am I teaching her by telling her no? In life, you won't always get everything you want. I get it.
Right.
I'm on board. But that's not one of these situations. At this point in life, if there's something that she wants, whether she really needs or not, I can buy it for her. But to that point, what my mom taught me and my grandparents taught me at a very early age, I used to collect cans. We would go around. My uncles would drink quite a bit. They'd put their cans aside, just leave them on the ground. I got to go pick them up, put them in a bag if I want them. Anything at our house, I'd put my own little, bucket on the side. Hey, put y'all's cans in here. My grandparents would drive me 15 minutes down the street to go cash them in. Okay, now what do you want to go buy? Me and my grandpa would drive up and down the streets with a trailer and load them up scrap metal, take it, scrap it in. When I got to 12, 13, I would stay home from school once a month on heavy load days in neighborhoods around us, just go load up scrap metal
That's crazy.
to go, because at that point I said, let me take the burden off of asking my mom for this and let me go work really hard today and make $150 and go buy them shoes I want myself.
Interesting.
So I feel like if your child becomes a brat or not, it's partially from their doing and it's partially from your doing, right? I saw what my mom gave to making sure that what it took for my mom to be able to give me that.
Right.
So in turn, I'm trying to pay it forward. And I take my, like today, we went to an eviction I had in Cleveland, one of my properties. Grace was with me, right? When we are out here cleaning cars, she's picking up the sponge and she's with me. I'm trying to instill in her at an early age. I'm able to tell you yes on all these things. And she's not grasping it now, I get that, but she will with time.
Yep.
I'm able to tell you yes on all these things you want because I'm going to do these things. So it's not just, you know, an open wallet that is never ending. If I stop doing these things, the money's going to stop coming.
Oh, for
Right.
sure.
So you've got to give it to get it. So I'm just trying to pay that forward of come look and see what it takes. Cause you know, I saw what it took for my mom being gone 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. What she was gone doing something. So I'm like, if I can pay that towards her, then I think that'll prevent her from telling me in the future, if it breaks, I'll just go buy another one.
Possibly.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
no,
interesting.
I like the approach. It's definitely interesting.
I
We'll see.
do. I
Yeah.
do. Well, you know, I mean, you guys' answers are amazing. Really.
I talked too much today.
I know. No, I mean, I love it
talked too
because
much on this episode.
I'm learning you guys. I'm learning
Yeah.
from, you know, I mean, you're an older parent. You're
Oh, good
our
God.
age, you know.
What the our age? Did this dude just say our age?
You grouped me and you?
Yeah, he did. What the?
Well, you know, we got one kid, you know. and
I'm
so-
better off
so-
saying our age.
I know. That dude.
But, you know, I mean, I learned so much from you guys, and I'm sure our viewers as well, they do. So I want to thank you guys for watching. You know, thank you for subscribing to our channel. We're growing every single day, and all because of you guys. Thank you so much.